Hey guys, welcome to the MLG coverage of the Acer TeamStory match, Mouz Sports against Invictus Gaming. In fact, these guys ninja started his first game. Let's jump right into it and then let you guys know what's going on. Apologies about XMG logo here. We'll get that switched over to the Acer logo. Just after the next game, I just kind of got caught a little off guard here with the start time of the game. But anyways, here we are. This is a best of 9 Acer TeamStory Cup match between Invictus Gaming and Mouz Sports. Now, the way this works is whichever player wins for their team stays on, and the other team has to put in a new player. Also, the winning player scores 1 point for the team. Each team can field, once they lose 5 games, they're out. So it's between 5 and 9 games total, a best of 9 here. Other thing to keep in consideration is we do have their starting players here. The bottom right-hand location, representing Invictus Gaming, we have Jim. Of course, Invictus Gaming, the top team from China. And his opponent in the upper left-hand location, representing Mouz Sports, we have HasuObs. Looks like our Chinese player Jim is struggling a bit. Of course, China has a hard time connecting to the exterior world sometimes. Also important to note, Mouz Sports, known as the strongest team in Germany. Invictus Gaming, the strongest team in China. A battle between the Germans and the Chinese here. Both teams have been struggling in the Acer TeamStory Cup. Mouz Sports holds 8th place out of 10. Invictus Gaming holds 9th place out of 10. Both these teams want to get out of the bottom 3 spots because the bottom 3 spots have to re-qualify for next season. And of course, they really want to make sure they don't have to go through that arduous qualification process. If they get in the middle of the pack, at least they get that automatic seed into the next season. Of course, these games are being played over the internet, so there's some latency issues between someone playing from China and someone playing from Germany. Hopefully, those won't be too much of a problem, but that's just, of course, the nature of the game, given that technology is the vehicle of esports. Onto these players a bit while we're still in the opening stages. Actually, first let me just talk about the builds a bit. We do have Jim going for a pretty standard opening. You can see double gas before the side core. HasuObs is doing the same thing. So nothing too crazy. No one's going super early gates, any type of super early aggression. Both players almost exactly mirroring each other, with the exception that you notice Jim is a little bit ahead on minerals. In fact, he just queued up an additional harvester you can see there. But that's because HasuObs is scouting. So if you scout, you're going to fall a tiny bit behind in minerals, but it's not a big difference. You can see an income there. It's still very even. And HasuObs does have more information. He knows exactly what Jim is up to. He says, okay, 2 gates. It's not a proxy Stargate. It's not, some the side core is not super fast, so it's not a 4-gate or anything crazy like that. You only have 2 chrono boosts available at the moment, and basically you can narrow down the options. And knows there's no super early threat, so he's free to go ahead and tech fast. We see that going straight for the Twilight Council. Always a good move if you know you're safe to tech. Why not just tech a little bit faster? So now that we've got the introduction out of the way, a little bit about these players. Jim, often regarded as the strongest player from China. Sometimes he's been called Jim Credible, sometimes called the Incredible Jim. A very, very talented player. We've seen him compete in the Stars War League. You've also seen him compete in the, there was Neo Stars League. Of course, Neo Stars League, strictly Chinese players. Stars War League, combination of Chinese and Koreans. We saw Jim in the round of 8 of Stars War League play a very close match against Liquid Hero. Lost 2-3, but it was a very intense match. So Jim, extremely talented Protoss player. HasuObs, known for loving late games. One of the top players from Germany. One of the better Protosses in Europe. This game is tricky, though. We do see HasuObs going for a Dark Temple rush, and very importantly, he has this proxy pylon. That's huge. DTs can come right into the main base of Jim. Jim is getting a robo, though. And he's putting on some pressure, but he has no pylon up quite yet to warp units in. What does HasuObs have to defend? If you look at the units count, he only has this is his first unit. And now he knows that Jim is coming after him. He's going to have to use Dark Templar to defend. Does he have Photon Overcharge? Yes, he does. He's going to use that. I assume, there we go. He's going to use it to help defend. Time Warp goes down. The Stalker goes down. Is he going to get the Mothership Core of Jim? No, he does not, but Jim is going to get his Mothership Core. And Jim can, I think Jim can maybe shoot these Warp Gates from out of range. Jim with the high ground now. First Dark Templar being warped in. En route to Jim's main. Second Dark Templar en route as well. He's going to warp in some defensive Dark Templar, though. I'd like to see him Chrono Boost these gateways. Meanwhile, we do see Jim is building an Observer, but Jim has no units back at home. He's going to need more than this detection. Okay, he knows what's up. Warping in 2 Zealots to defend. Meanwhile, he's getting a second Observer. 2 Dark Templar do beat 2 Zealots, though. Jim will need more than this to stop the Dark Templar. Meanwhile, Jim attacking at the front, hitting the pylon. HasuObs needs to warp in another Dark Templar, or he's dead. HasuObs. Okay, 1 Dark Templar is warped in. Is that enough versus that many Stalkers? Meanwhile, the Dark Templars were cleaned up here in Jim's base with the help of some probes. 4 probes did go down, but how many probes can Jim kill? Looks like he's going to play it safe and back away from the Dark Templar. Of course, now that he has 2 Observers, he can keep 1 Observer back on defense. Another Observer is going to reinforce the Stalkers, and the big question here is, once that Observer crosses the map, what can HasuObs do against this army? Has HasuObs taken too much damage? Down by 15 supply. Army values. Massive advantage for Jim here. An Immortal comes out. Dark Templar is actually really helping against the Zealots. But there's just too much. The Immortal's getting focused down. It's under Time Warp. It cannot retreat. Dark Templar is still getting damage done. But is it enough? Every single probe is gone. A Mothership Core is going to fall as well. Meanwhile, another Zealot comes into attack, but Jim is defending well with Warpins. And that's going to be a good game. Jim wins game number 1, putting Invictus Gaming up 1-0 in this tournament. We'll see. Can Mouz Sports strike back? Who is Mouz Sports going to choose to go up against Incredible Jim? Don't go anywhere because game 2 is coming up next.